So here we are at the end of our journey. And I think I've talked through essentially everything that I've wanted to talk through. I mean, there are a couple things that I did miss that I just didn't want to talk about, like how cool the design of the Halo ring is, or how much I like the design of the Flood because they're not wearing any armor. But really, for the amount of video that's left, it's pretty obvious that I'm not going to be talking about small details like that. So what am I going to be talking about? Well, unfortunately, a large majority of you watching will never be able to experience this game the way I just described. Due to a port, a remaster built off of that port, and then a port built off of a remaster off of that port, it is almost impossible nowadays for new players to experience this game the way it was intended to be experienced by the developers. This might seem kind of confusing, but essentially, the main reason why I'm making this video is because the preservation of this game and its image has essentially been tarnished over the past 20 years, which is not cool, and I don't really fuck with that. Did Halo CE's legacy get screwed essentially 2 years after it was released?
Pretty much.
So let's get into it. So at the time of making this video, there are 4 current versions of Halo CE out there to play. There's the original version that came out back in 2001, the Gearbox PC port that came out in 2003, which I don't have physically, otherwise I'd be showing it, the remaster of Halo CE for the Xbox 360 released back in 2011 for Halo's 10-year anniversary, and finally, the Master Chief Collection, which was released in 2014 for Halo 2's anniversary and is now currently the easiest way to access the entire Halo series. An important thing to note is that at the time of this video, there is a rumored Halo CE remake being developed, but so far nothing has been confirmed, so I'm not going to be talking about it. Another thing that's important to note is that at the time of making this, the current developers for Halo at the time was 343 Industries, but now it's been handed over to a new studio called Halo Studios. Halo Studios did not exist when I was making this part of the video, so when I'm talking about Halo's current developers, I'm talking about 343 Industries, not Halo Studios. So let's start with the original Halo version. So this is the original Halo CE that was released for the Xbox back in 2001. Technically, the version I have is not for resale, but from what I've been able to gather, that doesn't really affect anything gameplay wise. So my review and my analysis of this game is almost exactly the same as if this copy did not say not for resale. I mean, I can't really say much about this version that hasn't already been said. Something that we will notice is that the people's memories of this game will eventually get worse and worse as the years go on, not because of this version, but because of other versions that are built off of this one. Ideally, you'd be playing this version on an original Xbox, like it says, with a CRT TV, because that's the way this game was developed and it was intended to be played on, but that's kind of hard to do nowadays. Finding an original Xbox or a CRT TV out in the wild is kind of impossible unless you're at a retro gaming store that's specifically designed to sell those things. This game is over 20 years old, like no shit, it would be kind of hard to access out in the wild. But that doesn't mean it's impossible to access this game like this. It just makes it really difficult. I found my copy at a retro gaming store for $15, which I'd argue is not bad at all. And since this game was essentially the game that carried the entire Xbox up until Halo 2 was released, there's going to be no shortage of copies out in the wild. This game was fucking ridiculously popular. It is not going to be hard to find multiple copies of this out in the wild. I mean, on Facebook Marketplace around me, you can find original Xboxes for around like, I don't know, 115 bucks, which is not terrible. It could be a lot worse. It's still appalling that it's that expensive, but it could be a lot worse. And also, you can literally find a CRT TV for fucking free anywhere. It doesn't really matter. Or you could literally just have a TV that has a VGA compatible port. So it's really up to you. So literally, if you're willing to drop like, I don't know, $130 to play this game, you can access it in its original form, which not only do you get to experience this game in the way that it was intended, you also get a whole ass fucking console on the side, which is fucking banger. But I understand that that's not feasible at all for most people. Why would you buy an entire console just to experience one game? That makes no sense. And I understand that people wouldn't be willing to spend this much money because I wasn't even willing to do that for this fucking video, which I will get into in a minute. Gameplay wise, this version is the most sound. It has the least amount of things fucked up with it and is literally the simplest, best version to play, which is really unfortunate because of how hard it is to access. This should be every first-time player's version of the game to play. If you're going to play Halo for the first time, you would be stupid to play literally anything that isn't this. I don't know. It's just frustrating. It's frustrating how good this game is and how hard it's been made to access within the past couple of years, which I will get into with the fucking Gearbox port for the PC made in 2003. This is the Halo version where things get fucky. So this version was not developed by Bungie, but rather by different studios called Gearbox, which I don't know about you guys. I've not heard the greatest things about Gearbox, and it kind of shows in this fucking port. So in 2003, they released the campaign for PC. On the surface, everything looks fine, but if you look really closely, you'll notice that some things are just straight up broken. Like, for example, the skybox in Assault on the Control Room, completely fucking bricked. It's not supposed to look like this. Another thing that's completely broken is Cortana not changing colors in these cutscenes. Another thing you can notice is how Captain Keyes has an entirely different model compared to the original version that looks lower quality. Or another thing you can notice is how the shield doors, and also the shields in general, just look flat and fucking dull and don't change color when you shoot at them. Like, look at the fucking shield doors in fucking Truth and Reconciliation. It's really bad. Or just how the entire game looks fucking flat and dull. And these could be considered, yes, nitpicks, but it's not like these are limited to like one or two things. This is limited to almost every single thing in the entire game. And there are videos on how this version breaks the game and goes into a little more technical detail, but essentially they fucked up one line of code and now the game just looks like this. It looks like shit. And for all intents and purposes, this version of the game is broken. There's no patch to fix it that isn't made by the modding community. There's literally zero reason to go back and play this game other than to experience the original UI on PC, which is not that much of a reason, I've got to be honest. And I know there have been restoration efforts by the modding community to fix this version, but I was unable to find it when I was making this video, so I guess it was taken down. Or something. I don't fucking know. I can't find it anymore. Anyways, despite how fucking broken this version is, the likelihood that a first-time player would be playing this version first is so unlikely. This version is almost impossible to access nowadays, which is totally fine because I would not recommend this version to anybody, not even for fucking novelty purposes. For all intents and purposes, this game is broken and should not be played ever. And unfortunately, the next two ports of this game are built off the PC port. Yippee! So now on to fucking Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, which was released in 2011 for the Xbox 360. In 2011, Halo's ownership was taken away from Bungie and given away to a new studio called 343 Industries. So what they did for the first project was to remaster the original Halo for its 10-year anniversary. And this remaster actually does something that's pretty unique that's not seen in other remasters that I've seen, in where you can change the graphics essentially on the fly. It's running two game engines at the same time and you can switch back whenever you want. It is a really cool idea, but unfortunately the Xbox 360 was not a powerful enough console to be doing all that. But not only that, this version is built off the PC port. So not only does this game run the broken graphics, but this time for the Xbox 360, it also built the remastered graphics off of that version. And not only that, the remastered graphics are not better at all. They're just too much. Like the fucking library. Visually, this is gorgeous. This shit looks cool. Like, this looks beautiful. But here's my sweat. It looks nothing, and I mean nothing, like this. It's like, you know the phrase night and day? I think this game perfects what that means. Literally, there are God rays coming out of this thing. But that's not what the library is. It's fucking horrifying. It's terrible. It's dark. It's cramped. It's creepy. It does not need to be fucking lit up to shit. You need to use your flashlight in certain areas because you can't fucking see. And even the one piece of geometry that I fucking praised level design wise for the library, which is the fucking elevator, they just made it so much more fucking lame. Look at this shit, bro. It is so boring. Look how cool this shit was in fucking CE. The one piece of geometry you could have gone hard on. No, it's fucking gray here. The middle is like kind of cool, but bro, this was like one of the coolest pieces of geometry in the game. And you're like, no, we're gonna make it gray. Nobody played through the fucking library and thought, this level is really good. But you know what? The only reason I don't enjoy it is because I need to use my fucking flashlight and it's not over fucking brightened. And you know what's crazy? It's that there are some genuine good additions to the library. Like the fucking arrows on the floor guiding you where to go. I think that's a genuine improvement. But that's literally the only example I can think of in this entire game where I can think of, oh yeah, this is better than the original. I don't know, I feel very mixed about it because it's also every like 10 fucking steps, like here's where you need to go. My whole sweat with the arrows is that it doesn't help because how are you supposed to see that arrow right over there? Like it's so fucking visually cluttered and just like distracting that I actually can't see anything. And like literally the reason I'm only using the library as an example is because I think it conveys perfectly what the fuck is wrong with this goddamn remaster. I could talk about 343 Guilty Spark in way more detail, but guess what? I don't need to. I can literally just show what the fucking library looks like, and you can get the same idea. It's like when making this game, the team wanted to have the same breathtaking visuals that this game had back in 2001, but translated for the Xbox 360 era. But unfortunately, the Xbox 360 era is probably one of the poorest aging console eras visually.
Oh, this might be a reach. Oh my god!
And in doing so, they completely fucked up the tone. I could go into way more detail about what this remaster does that's shitty, but I genuinely would lose my fucking mind trying to do that. So let me show you an example from another video that's talking about this game.
Now, enemies blend right into the background, and the backgrounds are complex as shit all the time. If they weren't moving, it'd be like playing fucking Where's Waldo. No, awesome, great, love it. I mean, yeah, maybe some people prefer it stylistically, but when the subjects and their setting become more difficult to tell apart, that is an objective disadvantage.
Also, they didn't nail putting the remastered graphics over the original because there will be multiple times in this game where you will just shoot at a piece of geometry and it turns out you switch to original graphics and there's actually some sort of barrier in the way. How the fuck that happens, I have no idea. And I've never heard of a game being ported to another console and the graphics being this bad except for the fucking Silent Hill remastered port. And unfortunately, with this version, no matter which graphics you choose, it's going to look like shit. If you choose the anniversary graphics, you get this over-brightened, over-designed version of this game that does not understand the original tone of the fucking Xbox version. And if you switch to the OG graphics, they're gonna be way duller and objectively worse than the fucking original Xbox where this game came from. At that point, you should have just remade the game and not even fucking flex the option to play on the original graphics. And when this remake was released, people who hadn't played CE in a while came back to this version and were like, I don't remember the original graphics looking this bad. And I know this happened because it fucking happened to me. I remember my first playthrough of this game back when I was like, I don't know, 10 years old. And even then I was like, oh, I don't remember this game looking that bad. And guess what? It's because it fucking didn't. And so after I played this version, I was way less inclined to play the original version because I was like, well, it looks like fucking shit. Why would I play it? And then guess what? When I came back to play it a couple years after playing this version, I was like, holy shit, this game is so good. Because this game made me fucking remember a version that is objectively fucking worse. If a remaster leaves you remembering the original game in a negative light, then it fucking failed as a remaster. Even if just by looking at the goddamn box, you could just tell that they just don't get it. I mean, just look at the comparison to these two boxes. Like, they just don't get it. Yes, fundamentally it is the same, but it's just like, it's just off. He's holding a pistol in this version. He's alone. It's in black and white. This looks like a special edition. This doesn't look like the default fucking version you could find anywhere. And even if you compare the backs, like, yes, fundamentally they are very similar, but it's just not the fucking same. And even if you look at the goddamn guide for this game, you can tell that it just has way less effort put into it than the original guide. Like, look how fucking beefy this is. Look at the difference between the Halo ring on this version of the game to this version of the game. Like, yes, they're in the same kind of positioning, but this is just over fucking designed. Like, you can just tell, it doesn't look right. They did a much better job in fucking Halo 2 Anniversary of this ring than they did in this one. The question is why? Why does it look so fucking bad? I think one of the best examples for a remaster or even remake was Ocarina of Time 3D. And that developer team had the philosophy of, we cannot fuck things up. And just by looking at this game, you can tell that the Anniversary team just did not have that same goal.
That was 10 years ago. This is now.
It's the quintessential walk down memory lane
with a much better visuals.
If a remastered version of a game doesn't have you playing the original version thinking, oh man, I really wish I had this version in the remaster, like the fucking Iron Boots from Ocarina of Time 3D, then you failed as a remake. I have literally never wanted to play Halo CE Anniversary other than fucking novelty once and for footage for this video. And even then, I never want to touch it again. I don't think there's really any version to touch this game, genuinely. This version just leaves a really bad fucking taste in my mouth. And the only reason I can think of anybody playing this game is just to see what the anniversary graphics looked like and ran on the Xbox 360, which is fucking stupid. There's literally no reason to play this. This is the cheapest version of the game you can find literally anywhere. And for good fucking reason. Don't fucking buy this shit. And just like the PC version, do not touch it. It's fucking broken. And now, we're on to the most modern way to access Halo CE, which is the Master Chief Collection, which was released in 2014, which is for the Xbox One, Series X and S, I guess. I don't know how new Xboxes work, PC, and Steam Deck. And for those who don't know, this version of the game, which I'm just gonna call MCC from this point on, is a collection of every mainline Halo game except for Halo 5 and Halo Infinite, and any top-down Halo game or like spin-off that wasn't like released or advertised as like a main Halo game. And this collection is the most modern, easiest, and also the worst way to experience Halo for the first time. For some background, Halo's MCC was released in 2014, right around the same time as Halo 2's anniversary. So it really was just an excuse to release Halo 2 Anniversary, and then they kind of just found an excuse to put every Halo game on the Xbox One so they could have it. And it fucking shows, because based off of how well this game did during launch. This game was a disaster when it launched. They put 4 games in here and expected, oh yeah, this is gonna work. And you know what? Honestly, back then, playing the MCC in 2015, it was hype. It was hype playing every Halo game on the new gen console and seeing how much better it ran. But now that MCC is kind of settled, essentially all development has been ceased on MCC, there's a lot I'd like to say about it. So let's get into it. First off, the UI and the loading screens are terrible and boring as fuck. You know how I made these little homemade loading screens for every level? Oh my god, it's so cool. Guess what? It literally just has a still image and a loading screen. No music, nothing. It is boring as fuck. And it's like this for every single fucking game. It literally spoils the fucking flood in the goddamn avatar menu. You can't even unlock any levels. They're all available from the fucking start. I don't feel like I have to explain why this is potentially problematic for first-time players. You know the guide that I was praising and meat writing a little bit that came with the original box? There was no way to access this in this version. Fucking Nintendo Switch Online has access to video game guides. How do you get outmatched by goddamn Switch Online? How does that even happen? And plus, trying to play this game for the first time is hard as fuck, so most people are just gonna press quick play, which is arguably the worst way to access this game. Because guess what? This game just doesn't show you how to switch to the original graphics at all. It just expects you to play on the shitty anniversary graphics. Let me just show you how fucking hard it is to access the OG graphics. So, from the start of the menu, you select campaigns, you scroll all the way down to Halo CE Anniversary, which I'll get to in a second why it's not fucking first. You go to missions, you select Pillar of Autumn, you go to settings, you go to change visuals and effects to classic, you change the music to classic as well. I don't know, you could turn off fucking scoring and time off, as well as disabling campaign customization, and then you choose your difficulty, and then your fucking skulls, which is also, if I was a first time player, why the fuck would I choose anything other than remastered graphics? For most fucking gamers, remastered equals fucking better, but like I mentioned earlier, it fucking isn't. Literally, it was so easy to jump into the original Halo's campaign. Why do I need to choose what graphics I am? Why do I need to choose what music I am? What is scoring and time, bro? What the fuck does that mean? What the fuck? What are skulls? Like, and it doesn't even show you how to switch between graphics. They literally could have just put press tab to switch to the fucking OG graphics. How fucking hard would that have been? It's like the current developers of this game just want to hide the original graphics because they're so proud of what shitty fucking version that they made. Just add a legacy version. Like, add a fucking legacy option like Star Fox 3D. It's really not that fucking hard. What's unfortunate is that MCC is not that bad. Remastering the Halo games every 10 years is not a bad idea. What is a bad idea is when the legacy of really important video games that shaped the entire fucking industry get fucked over by a bad remaster that's now pushed by the current fucking developers, dude. Oh my god. Why are our egos so big that we're gonna just totally push that version to the side and not care about it and instead push, ooh, this version that took a lot less effort to make but looks pretty and it looks modern, so let's use that. Look at fucking Master Chief. Why does he look like this?
Why do his arms look like that? He looks like a fucking Oompa Loompa, dude.
I hate how Master Chief looks, bro. Oh my god. Why does he look like this? He looks like a baby. He looks like a fat he looks fat, bro. He looks like a fat ass. You're supposed to be a super soldier, bro. You look 400 pounds. Ow. And what sucks is that Halo 2 Anniversary isn't even that bad. I'd even go as far as to say it's the golden standards for how you should remaster fucking graphics. So why couldn't they do that for Halo CE? And you know what? Everyone's opinion on Halo 2 is fucking way better than Halo CE because it looks way better and they remaster it fucking so much better than they did Halo CE. I'd even go as far to say people's opinions on Halo 2 is better than they were back in 2004. But if I have a time machine, I guarantee you that the general public's opinion on the original Halo would be way better than it is currently. And that is literally because the MCC pushes you to play the shitty remastered version of the original Halo. And a lot of this game isn't even a fucking remaster. It's a fucking lazy reuse of assets from the fucking prequel game that came out just before this game. And they reused the assets in the worst way possible. So for example, they reused elites from Halo Reach. In Halo Reach, these elites were specifically designed to give off a tone of lethality and hopelessness and just overall like way more alien than Halo CE. And it works really well in that game. Halo CE's elites are really silly and say reverse Sergeant Johnson lines. And these fucking elites do not fit in the fucking confines of this game's story. And the reuse of assets just fundamentally do not fit. And while I do understand that they wanted to add continuity from Halo Reach to Halo CE, Halo CE does not need continuity from fucking Halo Reach. In Halo Reach, they didn't even design the game to have fucking continuity with Halo CE. And just, oh. But you know what? I can't hold off talking about Halo Reach anymore. So it's time for the goddamn Reach rant. Hot take, guys. I don't really like Halo Reach.
And that is the conclusion of the Reach rant. Basically, there was gonna be like a whole like hour-long rant about why I don't like Halo Reach. And I think I don't have to explain why that'd be a really fucking stupid idea. You can read the text on screen if you want. But basically, it's just like continuity issues, and I was just like, I don't know. It made me really mad for some reason. Like it made me genuinely really heated. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Halo Reach, but like that has nothing to do with what I'm saying here. It has nothing to do with this video. So,
if you're unfamiliar with Halo Reach, it takes place during the fall of Reach, which essentially was the events that happened right before Halo CE happened, with you being a main member of a group of elite Spartan 3s, which is really fucking weird because in Halo CE we're a Spartan 2, so why the fuck there's Spartan 3s? I don't understand. And also this is a prequel, so why is the number count later, and why are we more advanced than Spartan 2s? I don't understand. And essentially this game shows the timeline of Reach falling all the way from us discovering the Covenant on Reach all the way to the Pillar of Autumn escaping off the ring and us discovering Halo. So why is this a problem for first-time players? Well, in MCC, they recommend you play Halo Reach fucking first. Halo Reach is the culmination of 10 years of development for fucking Bungie, and they recommend you play it fucking first? Why does Halo Reach come before Halo CE in the menu, but Halo 3 ODST doesn't come before Halo 3? Halo 3 ODST literally takes place during Halo 2 and was released after Halo 3. By this logic, it should be before Halo 3, but they didn't do that because it's not marketed as a fucking prequel to Halo 3, and neither is fucking Halo Reach. So why does MCC suggest that you play it first? Halo CE stands on its own so well that you need literally nothing to understand what's going on before. Motherfuckers will be like,
oh, you need to play Halo Reach first. If you're playing Halo, if you're getting into Halo for the first time, you need to play it first.
no, the fuck you don't. This game is not fucking made better by playing Halo Reach first.
MCC is a fucking game collection. Who the fuck puts their games in chronological order rather than fucking release order? If you have a problem with playing Halo Reach after playing Halos 1 through 3 and after Halo 3 ODST, then that is not the fucking game developer's problem. That is fucking your problem and your fucking issue with playing goddamn prequels. You guys are the same motherfuckers who say you should watch Better Call Saul before Breaking Bad. You are the same motherfuckers who say the Star Wars prequels need to be watched before you watch the originals. Like, No! Do you guys not understand it? Watching in fucking release order, do you not understand how that works? And the whole problem with Reach being put first, it's such a small suggestion, right? But here's the thing. If I had no idea what Halo was and people were like,
Oh my god, the Halo series is so good, you should play it.
and there was no specific Halo 1, guess what? I'm playing Halo Reach because I guess that makes the most sense. Any normal person who gets the MCC is not going to care this much. They're literally going to play Halo Reach, love it, go to Halo CE, see how dated and weird it is in comparison, and then think Halo CE isn't as good. And I know this is real because I literally had friends over quarantine who experienced Halo this way. I had a group of friends over quarantine who decided to start playing Halo, the Master Chief Collection, and guess what? Their first game was Halo Reach, and they're like,
Dude, Halo Reach is the best one. You need to play it first before Halo CE.
and also, guess what? Halo CE did not stick with literally any of them. Meanwhile, quarantine was the same period of my life where I re-experienced Halo CE and I discovered how fucking good it was. And the only reason was because I was playing on original fucking hardware. I've been playing Halo since 2011. I have seen the ups and downs the series has had. I have known MCC before it had ODST in it. And I understand that Halo Reach is a prequel. It's understandable for people to experience that as their first Halo game. That's totally fine. But there's no excuse as to why it should be advertised as the first game you should play in the MCC. What's so unfortunate is that if you play Halo CE now, the way the current developers recommend, you're going to have an objectively worse experience of this game that it's been tainted by a developer that has a history of constantly mishandling this series. And just finding a way to experience this game in a form that is untouched by 343 or even Microsoft is extremely difficult, which is why the MCC is so fucking problematic. Listen, the MCC is $40, but it goes on sale all the time. It goes even as low as $10, so even free at some points. And it's also on Game Pass, so it's essentially free if you have Game Pass. It's also on literally every modern console within the last like 10 years. And plus, it's a collection of 6 games, so if you're interested in playing the entire series, it's all right there at your fingertips. If you wanted to get into the Halo series, MCC is literally the perfect vector for it. So why wouldn't you choose this version to play? It is literally so accessible. But the problem is that accessing it on modern hardware is the worst version. So you might be thinking, oh, well, you made this video on authentic hardware and OG hardware, so it couldn't have been that hard to access. Well, unfortunately, because I was playing on authentic hardware, this video was almost impossible to make. So let me talk about how I ended up accessing this game in somewhat original hardware. So for this video, I was playing the game on my original copy like I showed earlier. I'm using the Xbox 360's backwards compatibility feature because I don't have an original Xbox.
Am I supposed to do another one of these? Okay.
The purpose of like the last, like, I don't know how long, I'm gonna assume it was an hour of ranting, is just to show you that there's no beautiful simplicity to this game. Even trying to get this game in a working state on original hardware took me over a week to do. And I know if somebody else who wasn't making a very long detailed essay about this game would not bother to do that, because why the fuck would they? They would just play it on the fucking MCC at that point. And you know what? The MCC has been broken for so long that on YouTube, if you look up Halo Combat Evolved, all cutscenes, you will see cutscenes from the broken version of the game, and you can tell almost immediately just based off of what model keys is using, or if Cortana doesn't change color, you can tell, oh, these cutscenes are broken. This is what the game's legacy is. It's not going to be remembered as the initial release, but as the multiple terrible downgrades it has had over the years. And what's crazy about the MCC is that it's been out for 10 years and it just fixed a majority of all the issues with Halo CE's graphics almost 2 years ago. It fixed the graphics that had been broken for almost 20 years 2 years ago. You had 20 years and you just fixed this now? Ridiculous. And what also sucks is that Halo Anniversary, as much as I can act like it doesn't exist, will always be a part of this game's legacy. If you look up Halo CE Anniversary, will always show up in the fucking search results. I looked up this picture to see when was Halo CE released, and in that fucking ensemble of pictures of what the game looks like, guess what? You see Halo Anniversary right next to it. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes on YouTube recently, it's been showing me videos that have like really low views that are just like people's first time time playing Halo, and almost every time, guaranteed, they are playing on the OG graphics. There's no reason why they would play on the originals. Because why wouldn't they? The OG graphics look ugly in compared to the really pretty ones. If I was playing through the fucking 343 Guilty Spark, I would not want to play in the creepy, dark fucking hallways. I want to play in the bright, pretty ones because they are easy to look at. And even now, even though the OG game is technically fixed on modern hardware now, there's no guarantee that in the next console generation it'll be fixed at all. There's no guarantee. And what sucks is that the amount of effort Halo Anniversary probably took to make means it can never be forgotten. It can never be pushed to the side. It needs to be packaged along Halo CE, as unfortunate as that is. Which means, unfortunately, that the legacy of this amazing game will always have this dumb ass little fucking parasite that's attached to it, always being like, guys, I'm better, guys, I'm better, guys, I'm better, guys, I'm better. But anyways, with all that being said, I still love this game.
I love Halo CE. It's the best one.
This whole video may have been an excuse to play the original game's campaign on original hardware, since I haven't done that since pre-COVID. And it's also an excuse to kind of stop making Cursed Halo videos. I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to make 3 videos of me playing the same levels over and over again. I want to put a lid on that. But also, I made this video because I wanted to show how important this game is to me. I wanted to show people that, hey, this video game is really cool and really important, and you guys should probably definitely check it out because it's really, really good, actually. And listen, I know I've said that, MCC is so bad. It really isn't. Like, you can switch to OG graphics and it's fine. I just wish that more people could experience this game the way I did. I know this video was very similar in a way to the Dementia album review I made a couple years ago, and that was intentional. I kind of want to move away from the fucking like shitty gameplay, like in-person videos. I mean, the in-person videos are funny, but I don't really want to do that anymore. While I could continue to make fucking brain rot and incomprehensible shit, I'd rather just make stuff that I'm proud of, which is this video. Oh my god. Oh my god. Whoever the fuck was in charge of Halo from 2013 to like 2015 genuinely needs to get fucking shot or something. I act like those games don't exist.
Oh my god. Oh my fucking god.
Fuck.